Welcome, fellow time travelers, to a world where chivalry reigned and knights were the epitome of awe-inspiring strength. Today we delve into a question that has captivated history enthusiasts and modern cynics alike. Are medieval men stronger than their modern counterparts, with their legendary physical prowess that still echoes through the ages? From the thunderous clash of swords on the battlefield to the heart-stopping jousting tournaments, the medieval era was a testament to human strength and endurance. As we embark on this journey through time, we aim to bridge the gap between the past and the present, unraveling the age-old tale of brawn, courage, and the eternal battle between medieval might and modern muscle. So strap on your gear, sharpen your wit, and prepare for a thrilling adventure that will challenge your preconceptions and reveal the accurate measure of strength throughout history, perhaps in ways you never imagined. The medieval era, tales of strength and valor. Men in the Middle Ages were the original gym rats, but their gym was a muddy field or a stone castle. They lifted hay bales, swung swords, and carried armor as heavy as a small car. Today, people might work out in air-conditioned clubs, lift weights, and run on treadmills. The contrast is not just stark, it's a testament to the evolution of strength training over the centuries. Medieval men didn't need CrossFit classes. They had daily workouts built into their lives. Their jobs were the original HIIT sessions, from plowing fields to building castles brick by brick. Forget counting reps, try counting how many times you can swing an axe in a day without collapsing from exhaustion. Now let's talk about the physical demands of medieval life. Combat training was no walk in the park. It was more like a boot camp from hell. These brave souls had to endure endless hours of sword fighting practice, archery drills, and horseback riding lessons. They couldn't just rely on their brawn, they needed skill and finesse to conquer the battlefield. It's a testament to their discipline and dedication. And let's remember the physical labor involved in maintaining a medieval kingdom. From building castles to plowing fields, medieval men were no strangers to hard work. Forget going to the gym to lift weights. They were hoisting massive stones to build fortresses. It's safe to say they skipped arm day every day. It wasn't all blood, sweat, and chainmail. Chivalry was a big deal during the medieval era. Knights would gallantly rescue damsels in distress and engage in elaborate duels to defend their honor. Because nothing says, "I'm stronger than you," quite like swinging a sword around and challenging someone to a battle to the death. Comparing physical attributes. Contrary to popular belief, not all were pint-sized warriors. While the average height may have been slightly lower than today's standards, these men were built to handle the rigors of their environment. Think more like stocky, power-packed frames rather than towering giants. Modern men might have a few inches on their medieval counterparts thanks to improved nutrition and healthcare. However, height isn't everything. And what modern men may gain in stature, what they might lack is the rugged resilience of their ancestors. Also, imagine a lifestyle where every day is leg day. Medieval men built muscle mass from practical activities, swinging swords, building fortresses, and farming land. Their muscles were not just for show, they were essential for survival. Today, muscle mass can be more about aesthetics than utility. With access to specialized gyms and targeted workouts, modern men can sculpt their bodies in ways medieval men might find baffling. Yet one might argue that the functional strength of a knight in armor still holds its own against the bench press records in a gym. Lifting for medieval men wasn't about setting personal records, but about practicality. Hauling supplies, lifting heavy weaponry, or even carrying wounded comrades. Their strength was utilitarian, honed through necessity rather than choice. But modern lifting techniques allow for a more specific approach to strength training, focusing on specific muscle groups and maximizing gains. While impressive, this specialized approach might translate to something other than the all-around physical demands medieval men face. Endurance for these men meant marching for miles in heavy armor or working from dawn till dusk with minimal rest. Their stamina was built on the harsh realities of their daily lives, where failure to endure could mean the difference between life and death. Modern endurance athletes push the limits of human stamina through marathons, triathlons, and other extreme sports. At the same time, these impressive feats were pursued as personal challenges rather than survival necessities. Speed for a medieval man could mean sprinting into battle or chasing down a game. Their speed was explosive, driven by the immediate needs of combat or hunting. But today, speed is often measured on tracks or in controlled environments, optimized with the help of technology and advanced training methods. While modern athletes can achieve remarkable speeds, the context of their achievements vastly differs from the life or death scenarios faced by their medieval counterparts. Height discrepancies. The excellent height debate. Were medieval men just a band of pint-sized warriors, or is history selling them short? Let's unravel this towering mystery with humor and a ruler. First, let's address the elephant in the room, or should we say, the slightly shorter than expected knight at the round table. There's a common misconception that medieval men were about as tall as your average garden gnome. But before envisioning entire armies ducking under door frames, let's look at the facts. Historical data suggests that a medieval man's average height was shorter than today's standards. However, we're not talking about a fellowship of hobbits here. The difference might have been a few inches, not feet. So why the misconception? One key factor to consider is nutrition. Medieval diets were like the original farm-to-table movement, minus the avocado toast and quinoa bowls. While they had access to various foods, the lack of specific vitamins and the occasional famine didn't precisely set the stage for a population of giants. On the other hand, modern men have the opportunity of taking of balanced diets and food supplements that medieval folks could only dream of. With advances in healthcare and nutrition, we've seen an uptick in average heights over the centuries. It's not that we've evolved into a race of superhumans, we've just figured out that scurvy isn't a great look, and that maybe vegetables are good for you. So how do medieval men compare with their modern counterparts? If we line up a medieval man next to a modern man, the difference might be noticeable, but not dramatic. Consider the difference between wearing flat shoes and a modest pair of heels, not a game changer in most scenarios. Height can vary significantly based on region, genetics, and individual variation. There were undoubtedly tall medieval men who would tower over some of us today, just as modern men might find themselves looking up to their knightly ancestors. Impact of industrialization. When people decided that machines were the way of the future, factories and smokestacks popped up like flowers after it rains. What was going on with people during all this growth though? Our size changed when the wheels and steam engines turned. Before the Industrial Revolution, people were primarily super strong farmers who could work the land with the power of 10 horses and the endurance of a marathon runner. The machines came along and all of a sudden, we spent less time fighting with stubborn mules and more time turning knobs. You'd think that with less work, we'd all turn into fragile china dolls, right? Not really though. At first, people's health did get worse when they moved to the workplace, but over time, something interesting happened. As industrialization went on, it brought some surprises. Better ways to get around, better ways to keep food fresh, and new foods that the normal person couldn't get before. This meant that over time, people started eating better, which had a direct effect on their height. Yes, people did get bigger, but it wasn't because of magic beans, it was because they got better food and medical care. But let's not forget the part that child labor played in factories. It was like a crazy person planned the workouts. It might have been better for getting big and strong. For a while, the Industrial Revolution was actually trying to make people with hunchbacks and bad eyesight. When we switched from farming by hand to using machines, our muscles weren't getting the daily workout of tilling areas or planting seeds by hand. Don't worry though, the human spirit and stubbornness are limitless. As jobs that required a lot of physical work became less common, people found new ways to show off their muscles. These include organized sports and the modern gym culture, where moving a piece of metal in different directions is seen as the highest achievement possible. So did the Industrial Revolution make us all tall and robust like superhumans? Not really, but it paved the way for better nutrition and healthcare, which made it possible for people to reach heights and physical skills that people in the Middle Ages would have found excellent. As we end our time-traveling tour de force comparing the strength and size of men in the Middle Ages to those today, let's use our brains to review what we've learned. Also, keep in mind that our ancestors may not have had protein shakes, but they knew how to make a fight exciting. First, men in the Middle Ages were the first tough guys. They worked so hard every day that CrossFit looked like a warm-up. These guys were strong enough to swing swords and build castles with their bare hands. They probably had more functional strength than any modern gym rat in a "who can carry this suit of armor up a hill" contest. These days, technology is very important, and the only thing that comes close to hand-to-hand fighting is a heated Twitter argument. These days, guys may be stronger and last longer because they get better nutrition and train in specific ways. But we might call a medieval hero for advice when it comes to all-round do-it-yourself get-through-a-siege strength. We also busted the idea that men in the Middle Ages were as small as garden gnomes. On average, they may have been a bit shorter, but not by a mote's length. While the Industrial Revolution had some bad effects, it did lead to better eating and healthcare, which may have caused some people to grow taller and change their physical traits over time. So while medieval men may have been stronger in some ways, it's hard to say if they were more muscular overall. It's an interesting question to ponder, and one that will likely continue to be debated. Let's have your thoughts in the comments section, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more breathtaking history.